Thanks, Ella, and welcome back to our Sunday gathering. Before we start, please reach out to your tens and invite them to join us. And if you are here with your camera off, please turn it on so we can see your smiling faces. Now, with our opening intention, John, Judy, please mute.
Good morning, beloved and dear friends. Glad to see all your smiling faces. Are you guys ready to open your heart? Huh? Are you ready to open your hearts this morning? All right. So we got an intention from Rabash. I love this one. It's letter number 24. It says here, you have to stand guard and invoke the love in the heart of the friends. You know what Bala Salam said? That for between man and man, one learns how to behave between man and the Creator. This is so because the upper light is in complete rest, and it is necessary to always evoke the love. You must always stand guard, all day, all night. When you feel the state of day and you feel the state of night, you must awaken the heart of the friends until the flame rises by itself. By that, you'll be rewarded with awakening the love of the Creator upon us. Let's stand guard today, and let's awaken our friend's heart so that flame can rise. Hi, guys. Have a great connection today.
Thanks, John. And now our special guests telling us about Bnei Baruch's new stage of growth, our Arvut Team, Gil and Chaim.
Hello. Yes. Can you hear us?
Hello, friends.
Okay, great. Great. Yeah, it's the beginning of a new year. And 25 was a very special year. So we thought it would be a good time to not just go over what we went through and the changes we went through, but to really kind of encompass, grasp maybe the depth and the expansion of the changes that we went through. It was really an exceptional year in so many ways. And as we go over it, you'll see exactly, because we tend to forget, from day to day as we get into the routine. But when you look back at it, you realize what a transformational year we had in 2025, and it's going to continue in 26. So it's important that we are all on the same page in this, and that we're all in sync, and we know what to expect. And so let's continue. Let's
roll.
Let's roll.
Yeah, so we had this year, if we, first of all, to understand, the organization was established by Rav. Rav built, he had his attainment, but he realized, like he said in the lesson yesterday, that you're given this not for yourself, but to pass it on to the world. So what Rav built for us is an environment, which include everything, connection with other students, in which the point in the heart awaken, dissemination, technological systems to connect, right? Our systems are unique. They are BB systems. It's not like we bought from somewhere. Systems, all the galaxy Arvut system, it's things that our friends have developed. They don't exist in the world, things like that. And everything, finance, everything we needed, I've provided, right? I've organized, got investors, got friends to anything, any direction. Also spiritually, Rav gave us the direction. So everything was basically initiated and led by Rav till beginning of 2025, Rav gave a lesson every day. And now at the end of this year, we're in a situation where Rav does not participate in building the communities, the languages. He's not giving lessons. It's been a while since we had the lesson with Rav. We hope for more, but that's the reality. Rav is not giving programs. And it impacts us on many levels. So we want to first go through all the different aspects that of the changes that it implies, this change, this major change, and then see how we're gonna continue working in 2026, okay, taking all that into account. So first of all, just spiritually and leading the organization, till now Rav was making all the decisions. Now he puts it in the hands of few friends that he selected, okay? Call it management, call it whatever it is. And they're leading the organization on all levels, just like Rav was doing, okay? They take in many, many decisions, and Rav was deciding by himself. Here they have to meet and dedicate time, and believe us, they spend many hours a week discussing a huge range of issues that relates to every aspect of our life, because we as a society need that direction. Everything we do has to match certain intention, has to serve the goal, and therefore it requires a lot of thinking, a lot of consideration. So the friends are dedicating many, many hours a week discussing all the aspects of our existence. Okay, many, many aspects of the organization. We can now elaborate on all the topics, but it's yeah.
Every aspect of the organization.
Yeah.
Okay. So these changes have their impact. To some friends, it's easier to adjust. To some friends, it's devastating. It's they came to study with Rav. The morning lesson was with Rav. And now we have recorded lessons, just like we have the books of Barasulam and Rabash, and now recently recordings of Rabash. But with Rav, we always had him live. And people came to congresses to watch live, to watch Rav, in real life. And we don't have that anymore. And not only that, people are realizing that we are not going to have that going forward. So that is a huge shift. And we need to understand it's not something small. It's not just about a person's maybe how goal-oriented he is or something like that. We are the first people in humanity, in history, who, after the ruin of the temple, after the complete fall from spirituality, we are the first people in humanity who are beginning to build a society, not a Kabbalist to a student lineage, or a Kabbalist to a small group of students, like a 10 maybe, but a society, not only that, a worldwide society. And now this society is going to be led not by Rav, by a Rav, but by a group of people whom Rav appointed. But it's still a group of people. There is no one leader to look up to. Now that takes huge annulment, especially on the part of the veterans. because they're so used to studying with Rav.
So it's impact on any levels, because some people, they just don't turn up to the lessons. Some people, if they used to come physically here, now they connect virtually. And that's worldwide. It's not only in English or Hebrew, it's in all languages. We experience that. So here it puts us in front of a challenge. How do we strengthen our community? Now, also with Rav, we study each with his own 10, and we were accustomed that my 10 and I, we're working in the 10, right? This is what we study. The focus is in the 10, and we receive from Rav. Now, we understand that how dependent we are also on our environment. The environment as if was there hovering around and we didn't even pay attention to it. Now we realize more our dependency. Doesn't matter how strong is my 10. If it is disconnected from the environment, if it doesn't nurture from that environment, it won't be strong. It's like you're telling me there's a strong hand. It can't be a strong hand if it's not connected to the body, right? The overall body has to be strong. And that brings us the focus that we started this year, developing the communities, the regional activity, like we had the Congress in May, which was a big success, and the development of different local communities, right, with big communities that we applied. And so is also the order of the annual order of conventions that we are doing to build up that strength, be it a big Congress in Israel and also the regional congresses. So also in Israel, there being kind of not much activity in the Petach Tikva as a community, okay, of tens, and in Israel. And now, given that change, there's much more work to build and unite those tens and to create that support, that as if everything was there, but we were doing it unconsciously. Now we have to be conscious, and we'll come later on to how we're doing it. So also on that level, we saw a shift in 2025 about building more that, although the focus stay in the tens, but the other layers around it that support the work of each 10 and the sustainability of the organization.
We need to understand that if we focus only on our own tens, then sooner rather than later, we will be left without an organization. And being left without an organization means being left without Bnei Baruch, without lessons, without the Arvut system that's maintained through the organization, and without being able to study Kabbalah. So none of us is an isolated unit, an island. We're all linked in this. Arvut Adadit, mutual responsibility, is now our number one priority. And it's not just in the 10 now, but just as much all around us, in every circle of Bnei Baruch.
It's something that we weren't aware, but now we become more and more aware. We'll elaborate more towards going towards 2026. One of the elements that also was impacted is the study material. Beforehand, Rav chose study material. Today we study TAS. Suddenly Rav said, we stopped studying TAS. Now we're studying Pticha. Now we study only excerpts, right, on different topics. Or we study entire articles of Rabash. Rav was changing and deciding. Now we need to build the study material team with input from friends all over the world, have to decide what will we study. Okay, so there's a big shift here, and we see a lot of it recorded. We started with extra listening that it was full on 1 hour Rabash, or the other materials we study about going above reason, faith above reason, then Rabash teaching TAS, and then hearing Zohar for 20 minutes, you know. So that in itself was a big challenge for many friends. And the study material team is attuned to friends' desires also and ability to absorb all that. And they introduced the change recently. But also those changes may change tomorrow or in a few months because it's constantly evolving. And also we saw that Rav himself was bringing changes according to our capacity to work with the materials throughout the year.
And that's exactly where our ability to annul before the management comes into play, because Rav also made changes in the study material and in the schedule all the time. And whenever he made a change, we had no problem with it. Oh, you wanted this, you think it's best to study this? We'll study this. You think it's best to study that? We'll study that. No problem. Because we trusted Rav, right? So whatever he decided was fine with us. Now,
Everyone has
every
an
time,
opinion.
exactly, every time the management changes the study material or the lesson structure, we have a lot
The
of
WhatsApp is overloaded.
yeah, Duty's WhatsApp explodes with people suggesting to him what he should do, what he should not do, how we should build it, how we should, you know, and everyone has an opinion, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And basically everyone finds something to disagree with. And that is a dangerous approach, because once you get too much into it, it turns you against the management, which Rav himself put there. That in itself may have dire consequences. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But the important point is to remember that whatever the management decides, they will not decide something that doesn't draw light. It doesn't really matter if we study TES this way or that way, or if we study TAS or Pticha, or this article or that article. At the end of the day, it's about the source materials, the work in the 10, the presence, attendance in the lessons, and drawing light through it in order to correct our egos. And all the materials are good for it. And the lesson is still 2.5 hours, and it's still at the same time. So whatever they decide, we'll still be able to advance spiritually. So we have to adjust to going along with the management, and just whatever changes they think they want to try out now, let's go for it. Because in the end, it'll still be a lesson that we can use effectively to advance spiritually.
Another aspect that have changed is our financial stability. As you all know, BB is not dependent on any sponsors, no government. Although we're registered as a non-profit organization, we don't receive funds from any government budget or any council budget. So that always enabled Rav throughout the years to say whatever he needs to say as a Kabbalist, to state the truth as he sees it as a Kabbalist. And it's not always convenient to hear it in this world, what Kabbalists have to say, because he's talking according to the upper roots, not according to someone's agenda in this world. Now, and that was possible due to the fact that we participated in contributing to sustain the organization, predominantly through Maaser payments, and also people with deeper pockets that contributed throughout the years. Sometime when we wanted to run a certain project that needed extra funds, I would ask them to support that as well. And we had a lot of support throughout the years. It was very well expressed when we bought this building and many other projects that people those very dear friends contributed heavily to make it possible. And beyond that, the everyday payment of the friends, paying maaser and donations, etc. Now that too was impacted by a lack of Rav's presence, right? And we see that now we move to in order to secure the financial existence of the organization, and everything costs, all the systems, the building, everything cost us to sustain it. So we moved to a new financial model, right? This model would be applied initially in Israel and later on in the world. Kli will elaborate on it as well. But it also forces management to look in a mature way on how we sustain the organization, the future of the organization, and how to secure regular income that we can maintain our environment. Again, we're talking about the environment that Rav established, and we understand it's fundamental for our spirituality to have a strong environment around us. And so one of the aspects of maintaining an environment is to have financial stability and future in it. Okay. And then, do you want to add on that, or the dissemination?
Just on the maaser, I don't know how much we want to go into detail right now. Or you just want to go over it like fast and then go into detail later, or what?
Maybe we'll go into, just for what was, and then we'll go to what will be.
Okay. No, okay. So I'll say it now anyway. Just regarding the maaser, the maaser was also not because of the idea that it is in order to sustain the organization. It's because it's a spiritual law. Just like Rav, as soon as he walked into Rabash's study hall and joined them, a guy knocked on his shoulder and did like that. Give me your maaser. Just like that.
That was the habit.
Yeah, that's what we do here. Even when I came to Bnei Baruch, it was out in the open. There was no like a question mark around it. I was there for maybe a week. Like it was out there on the walls or something, but it was maybe a week before someone approached me and said, we have the overheads to pay and you have to pay maaser. We're not going to ask exactly how much you make, and in order to make sure that you're actually giving 10% of your net income, but you have to pay maaser and you have to pay the overheads. If you want to be with the group, it was like a prerequisite that was obvious to everyone. And throughout the years, it was obvious, and Rav said it so many times, that everything you do is great, but without being married and having a job and paying maaser, forget about spirituality. It's very nice. Everything you're doing is great. You may be helpful in dissemination, but you're not going to get there yourself if you don't meet these 3 criteria. And over the years, we've become a lot more diplomatic. And what is less convenient, we tended to kind of hide away. But, diplomacy and Kabbalah, first of all, they don't go together. And second, diplomacy doesn't change the truth. So that's always been the case. So the reality is that because we've become so gentle and diplomatic, few people pay maaser today, relatively few compared to the thousands of students that we have and the systems that we built in order to provide all the material for those thousands of students. Maybe 10-15% of them pay maaser. And it's a shame for them. The system is going to last. It's going to survive, even on those Maser payments. But a person who consumes without paying his dues and then learning about bestowal when he in fact is a parasite on the shoulders of others is an oxymoron. He stops himself from advancing. So yeah, Gil is telling me, take it easy, Chai.
Yeah, it's not about payment here. We do a summary of 2005.
Okay.
Yeah.
But okay.
But that
Okay, I said it.
No, okay, but it's we're looking at sustainability of the organization, the environment I've built. It all those payments, and also many people contributed, even if they didn't study. People we didn't even know. There are people regularly contributing to the organization because they believed in the organization. So all that also forces us to look at financially how to be viable in the long run, and that brought about the change in the model of payment. Okay,
but that too has a spiritual element, because the payment that is now being asked for, not the maaser, the monthly payment prevents you from being a parasite.
Yeah, just for the overheads, what you consume.
Yeah, you're at least not taking from anyone else. If you pay maaser or don't pay maaser, that becomes your own personal spiritual decision. But paying a monthly fee that is being asked for now or in a few months at least prevents you from riding on the shoulders of other people.
Of your friends to the 10.
Of your friends to the 10, to the organization, to everyone. Yeah. At least you pay your share. That's the minimum.
So looking forward into other aspect of our life that was very much impacted by Rav's presence or not is dissemination. We, in most languages, had two main channels. One channel was Rav channel, and the other one was Kabbalah Info that brought about Kabbalah without necessarily putting Rav in the front. And Rav channel was all about presenting Rav's programs, okay? Wrapped up, translated, opener, closure, whatever, but it was Rav's programs predominantly. We have Rav's blog, we have Rav's site, right? michaelleitman.com. We have Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever network that we did with Rav's programs. And nowadays, we can't constantly necessarily recycle old programs. Why? Because things were said, beside talking about the sources, but those programs that many times around certain issue, the reality in the world have changed, and you can't talk now like you talk about COVID. It's not. Now the world is before other situations that the COVID is looked secondary, right? So this is why we can't necessarily reuse or recycle all the programs we have. So it forces us now to produce new materials that are not Rav-based. It is up to us to explain Kabbalah to the people without Rav. For example, we saw the program that Oren did about the weekly portion. We see other podcasts the friends are doing, things like that. Okay, and sub-programs and mini-series of podcasts around different topics. So a lot of those things, and you will see more of it in the future, because we need to produce original material for the networks. So this is also a very big shift, right? How to sustain the current of students that came to us. It's because people saw a video of Rav, a book that Rav wrote, things like that, and then came to us. Also, most of the books were some interviews based on some programs with Rav. Nowadays, if we produce a book, it will be our way of presenting the wisdom. The wisdom is present. It's just how we present it. And translation, how was that impacted?
What do you mean? You surprised me with the question.
No, what's happening in the world of translations?
Of books or
Yes, books. Books.
Well, right now in English, we're focusing on source materials. Um, it is very important for Rav to have the Zohar translated and the study of the 10 Sfirot. So that's our main goal right now. We're working on that. I have a great team of editors dedicated, and we're working on that. But we're not producing new books, new beginners books, scientific books, books on the role of the Jewish people, all those things that we did in the past. We're not dealing with that now.
So now we're looking at, that's sort of an overview of 2025, right? How by Rav diminished participation, how the whole organization was impacted on the level of dissemination, finance, morning lesson, management in itself, right? We came here because we knew this person is in spirituality, he can lead us to spirituality. Now we have management. Do we have that trust that they would lead us to spirituality? We have the study material, like Chaim elaborated before. Why do we study this and not that? Dissemination. Now I'll hear one friend here start doing a podcast and he's appearing in BB channels. Why is he? Why not someone else? I don't like his accent, right? We have many issues, and every aspect financially. This model about the price, I would always have objections. Why? Because our ego now is in a different territory. I've built that environment for us, and now he passed it on to us to continue it. And that present huge challenges ego-wise. Financially, it's our problem. We'll pay, study material, we'll study, management, they will make decisions. That's all simple. What's not simple now, and we need to work together in the tens, in our society, is to overcome all those challenges to the ego, because the ego will constantly project us something wrong with any aspect of those changes. Okay? Some of us easily take it and all say, yes, all good, and I do whatever they tell me. But in many of us, at least one of those aspects would evoke resentment, would evoke disagreement. And what's happening here is if I start whinging to Chaim about study material, and Chaim start whinging to me about the new dissemination project, what we do is we start create, instead of building the greatness of the goal, we do exactly the opposite. So our future, spiritual future, is doomed. So here it's a new state that we all need, first of all, personally, not to necessarily bring out every doubt that evoked in my heart, that awaken in my heart. I need to work with it personally. And second, that responsibility to the 10, that what spirit do I bring to the 10? Do I bring doubts, or do I bring importance of the friends, the greatness of the friends, the greatness of the Kabbalists, the greatness of our society? That's only bringing. Now, what about actions? There's a Congress. I'm coming, or I'm staying at home because I disagree with the study material, with the hours, with whatever, right? So we have a big challenge here in front of us as a society, but also a huge opportunity to take on all those levels as a group, in the 10, in our environment, to see the picture, to see the greatness of the moment and attack it together and approach it together in making sure that every friend in the 10 is capable and we all together stepping up to the next degree. It's a very delicate moment in our spiritual path, but a very happy moment, because Rav did it all for us. Now it's like, hey guys, you take it, you handle it, you grow it, you bring new students, you teach them. How do we do that?
we have everything we need to do that. We have the organization, we have the know-how, and we have all the materials. It's all a question basically of, do we rise to the occasion or not? Every time we do, we know that the Creator lifts us to a new level. But it's always the moment before we do that's the hardest, because that's the moment we go above reason. And precisely when things don't seem to make sense, we go along with Bnei Baruch. And then suddenly everything kind of clears. All the fog and blurriness, everything clears, and the new degree becomes apparent. We are at the threshold of a new degree where our connection will be our Rav. But we have to establish it, not only in the 10, but also in our communities and in our countries and in all of Bnei Baruch. Because we are it. There's no more Rav to lead us. He's not going to reclaim the position that he had before. He's unable to health-wise, and he doesn't seem to want to either, even when he could. He thinks we're ready. So if he thinks so, and he knows us better than we know ourselves, then we are. But we have to take it. And 2026 is going to be the year where we take it. Everything we started doing in 2025 will continue to develop in 2026, beginning with the Congress in February, through the Congress in May and in October, and all the changes will go through in the study materials and in the lesson formats and in the finances and in dissemination and with the students, everything. There will be changes over changes over changes.
There's an aspect that we didn't mention in that overall
Review,
which is the new students. We used to teach students in a way that we prepare them for a lesson with Rav, right? The whole CABU process, Centro Studio, Mac, was always to bring people to morning lesson with Rav. Nowadays, they come and they see some recorded lessons in materials they maybe not even can understand what he says there with Rabash and all that. And this is something crucial, okay? This is crucial to how we run our learning centers in all languages, right? This is why management, because understanding that new students need someone to follow. In Hebrew, they're nominated Gilad and Oren, and in worldwide, Aviu Mushi, to lead that process with the new students. So even here, we see another aspect that how it impacts our life and the growth of the organization. How do we convey to students that this is their future, spiritual future, without Tav? Yeah, and that also brings us to really value the work that the friends are doing, and they constantly trying to secure and build forward our environment. I'm talking about our friends for management. And it's really important that we support them, that we respond when they ask us what do we prefer about study material, about congresses, about everything, because they want to build in line with the spirit of the society, like I've always guided us. But also they need to make decisions for that longevity of the organization, sustainability of the organization. So we see a big load on them on all aspects, even as we heard in Saturday morning, the friends that went through this leadership program, how they assure to have future leaders for the organization, right? On so many levels, that so many systems that require running them and leading them and serving the friends. So I think it's something that we hear very little, or we just see certain aspect of the work. We don't see all the other work behind of our friends that are in the management, which Rav nominated them to lead the organization. So this is another very big part of our life.
I just want to emphasize a point that I think is important in terms of teaching Kabbalah. In one of the talks with friends that Rav has, it's called Talks on the Path. The friends asked him, what was Rabash's intention, or something like that, when he taught, or what did he want to achieve? What made him happy when he achieved it? And he said that Rabash always wanted to bring his students to the teachings of his father, of Bala Sulam. And we see how Rav always directs us to Rabash. Rabash wrote this, Rabash wrote that. He wrote this in this article. Look up the social writings of Rabash. And he recommended also that we would listen to Rabash's teachings of the study of the 10 Sfirot, and now they're preparing also some Zohar lessons with Rabash. So you can see how Rav always leads us. Although he teaches, he leads us to Rabash's ideas. And when you read Rabash's articles, you see how true Rav's teachings are to his teacher's way. Everything that he told us, you can find in Rabash, in the writings of Rabash, right? And what the teachers do today, the students, and that's very important. They don't direct the students to themselves. They do exactly what Rav did. They direct the students to their teacher, to Rav. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that Rav will be giving lessons, just like Rabash doesn't give us lessons. But still, the teachings will always be Rav's teachings. The idea, the wisdom behind it. That's why we'll always use clips to show what Rav said and to elaborate on Rav's words, so that when we teach, we don't teach from our own mind, but we first use the source, which is Rav or Rabash, and then elaborate on the source. We don't even use the source as reinforcement to what we said. We rather take the source, that's the origin, and if it's not clear enough, because maybe it was said many years ago, then I will explain it, I will elaborate on it, but I will not deviate from the path that my teachers have given me. And that is the lineage that the teachers today do, and that's very important. That's the only way you can continue the lineage and stay true to the path.
There's a very important element here. First of all, I want to say that we have the congresses now, right? We have the February Congress coming up. We need to look at the congresses as part of our way of building our environment. So first of all, we have the upcoming February Congress. Here, we definitely need to say that if someone can come to the Congress, they should come to the Congress, okay? If your 10 cannot come, then, but you can, then you still should come to the Congress. Tomorrow, you continue working with your 10, but if you can come to the Congress from above, you get all the means and everything that enables you to come, you should come. Not because some of my 10 is not coming, then I'm not coming, or things like that, okay? Because if an opportunity is given, we should take it, and that force later on, we bring to the 10 regardless. In May, we're going to have the 10th Congress. It's not clear yet its format, so we're not going to talk about things we're not clear. And in October 26, we're having the big regional Congress. So we're going to have one big Congress in North America. We're still yet to close on the location, right? To choose the location. As soon as we have that, we will promote it to everyone. But that too is part of our building our environment. Now, there is a big element here that is a secret for this going forward. Is a key element, and this is our annulment. Because on the one hand, building the greatness of the goal among us, and the other is the annulment. And one cannot annul by himself. This is why we have a 10. Our ego always wants to take for himself, wants to fight, and the 10 can point me to the creator, remind me there's the creator, remind me there's a bigger system here which enable me to annul. And this is something that we really need to work together. And I think, Jaime, we should do a l'chaim for this new opportunity. What do you think?
Yes.
Everyone is very serious here, and
No,
we have
this
a
turned out
beautiful
to be such a
opportunity
serious
before
talk. We
us.
didn't even intend
So
for it to be
we're
this way.
gonna
But
get a bottle out, guys,
Okay.
and we ask you to get the bottle out and something to celebrate with,
until Gil pours something,
because this is a very happy moment for all the world, Kli, and for us now that we're talking about it, guys. So invite everyone to.
what is it?
Now we
Kosher.
know where you keep it.
Yeah, kosher brandy.
Yeah, that's
Something.
Pesach. Do you want something else? We got, but this is
No, I'm sure you
for
got.
Pesach.
No, it's
So
just-
we want to celebrate this opportunity, guys, to grow together, to go to the next degree.
And listen, guys, I have another great announcement. For those who for tens who are coming to Israel, just so you know, I'm part of the content team of the Congress. So
We planted him as representative
Yeah,
for the
so to
world,
speak.
Kli.
and there's a spy.
Yeah, so he can make sure that everything is in
I'm
taking
here
the world
to
Kli into account.
look out for the interests of the friends from the world, Kli.
Yes.
So as part of that effort, the friends are participating in creating everything in this Congress. Like we said before, I'm sure you heard me at the end of yesterday's.
You're just filling up time
lessons.
so you get the bottles, guys. Get
Right.
the glass full.
Um,
So please
So-
get your glasses full.
guys, listen, if you want to participate in building any kind of content for the yeshivot chaverim before the lessons, for the preparation in the 10, because we have to prepare lineups. Each 10 can do its own lineups, but some 10s will not be able to because they're not used to it or because they're not very active, whatever. So they'll have lineups prepared for them, but it's prepared by other friends. So if you want to participate in any of that or in anything else, just with playing music, with whatever, let us know, or let me know. I'll write to the Arvut team and I'll pass it on. If you're coming as a 10, or like
Enough
a
friends.
good portion of the 10 is coming to Israel, and you guys want to lead something, let us know. Okay, now is the time because now everything's being divided.
Be
All,
built.
all the jobs are being landed. Okay, so please let me know, and we will assign you. We'll have this Congress done in Israel, but done by friends from all over the world. Okay, and
So for a new continue.
for a new year that continues and advances even more on the changes, and may we all rise to the occasion and unite as one man with one heart and truly reach the new degree, becoming united and revealing the Creator. L'chaim.
Hi, friends. We're almost on time.
Almost on time.
Our thanks to Gil and Chaim, and thanks to all of you for joining
thanks to
us
you.
today, and we will see you next time. Now for our closing intention, John.
Okay, closing intention. One must always pray for his friend, as one cannot do much for himself. For one does not deliver oneself from imprisonment, but when asking for his friend, he is answered quickly. Therefore, each one should pray for his friend, and thus each works on the other's desire until all of them are answered. Let's have a great week, guys. Let's pray for the friends. Let's pray for our brothers in Petah Tikva and the whole society. You guys have a great week of connection. L'chaim.
Open your heart and let the light shine through. Open your heart and all our dreams will come true. With every fear, through every tear, there's a song. Above the doubts, above the right and the wrong. Uniting hearts will rise on wings of a prayer. When all is said and all is done, what is left? Open your heart, let the light shine through. Open your heart, and I will open mine too. Open your heart, let the light shine through. Open your heart, and all our dreams will come true. Take a breath and fall into your embrace. Beyond myself to a better place. Hey. Uniting hearts will rise on wings of a prayer. When all is said and all is done, what is left? Hey, open your heart, let the light shine through.
L'chaim, friends.
Hi,
L'chaim,
friends.
friends.
Hi, Haverim. Thank you. Thank you.